Welcome to the call. My name is Brandy Sinoto, and I am so excited to be with you guys today on this call. I'm actually calling in from Honolulu, Hawaii, and it's great to be hearing people calling in from all parts of the states. If you're on this call right now, you are blessed because we are all waking up today and going after our dreams and goals. Guys, there's something very special happening right now in Mulder. Guess what it is? I think you probably know what it is, but I'm just going to say it. Black Friday is coming right around the corner. And I got started with this company 7 years ago. So this is my 7th year with Mulder. 7 years ago, I was trapped in a business that was promising freedom, but was taking up so much of my time. And yet, I loved health and wellness. I loved helping people. I actually have a background in holistic health. And I wanted to have a business where I could continue to pursue my passion of helping others in the health and wellness arena, but I did not want to spend time in living rooms. I didn't want to spend time meeting people, finagling with them to try to join my business. I knew that there was a better way that I could present my products and program and services to people without making them feel like I had to meet up with them to get them sold. So that was exactly 7 years ago. I got introduced to Mulder. I went searching, actually. And, when you ASK, you GET, right? So I asked for a company. I asked for a program and product line. I asked for everything that would check all the marks. And it led me to Mulder. My journey brought me right here with Mulder 7 years ago, where I decided to get started in social retail. And let me tell you, this was the very first time I ever marketed on social media. For many of you, you may remember that moment when you got started as well. And, you've seen your friend doing it. I've seen people posting about it, but it still took a little bit for me to wrap my brain around what it meant, because I had all those hesitations, right? I don't want to sell. I don't know how to do it. How am I supposed to go online and tell people about my product and all of those things? But when I jumped in and I learned from the best, and right here is the best. You are getting trained by the best on this team, on this call. When I learned from the best, then I finally understood what it took to positively impact people through social media, sharing with them products that literally could change their lives. And also the piece where I was able to hold myself accountable, because I think that's one really big piece, right, that we all know what that's like, is that we've committed ourselves to not only building a business, but showing up on social media, showing people what we offer. And that in itself is a huge accountability for ourselves personally. So I want to congratulate you, because you took this time to be on this call, right? You took the time right now to get plugged in. And honestly, I'm going to tell you, that's step one. That's exactly what you need to do. You got to stay plugged in to stay lit up. And now you're here, and what I want to do before we get this call started is just kind of go through what we do on this call is we give you some updates, but I also want to give you some perspective of, where we are right now in our businesses and in our company, right? So I just do want to address that there are so many challenges happening in the world today. I don't want to be insensitive to what's happening. I mean, all you have to do is turn on the news and you just see all the craziness that's happening in the world right now, unfortunate craziness. And, it's like, how are we going to continue to move forward through crisis, right? Because one thing for sure is that crisis never ends. I want to say, what about in our own lives? Like, how many of you right now are going through a crisis in your life that people don't know about, right? But you're still here. So there is a quote that I wanted to share, and it is from The Art of War, the book The Art of War, and it goes, in the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. So basically what that says is life never really goes according to plan. Actually, when we expect things to go a certain way, just give life some time, and man, life will show you something else that comes up. And it's really about being able to adapt with it, because no matter what, you have a goal, right? And that's the goal that brought you here today. So it's really simple. If you have a goal that brought you here today, if you have a goal that connected you to Mulder, like how I had a goal 7 years ago and it connected me to Mulder, I encourage you today to make this decision to be bigger than any chaos that is around you and to keep that goal front and center so that you can actually see your actions come to fruition, see the fruits of your actions. So I got 5 tips that I'm going to share with you because after this, we're going to go straight into being inspired by these women that are jumping on this call right now. Because if you're here right now, you woke up at 6 o'clock Hawaii time, or you're all the way in Idaho listening in, and you don't even like you're trying to figure these things out, you're going to hear from these ladies their stories. And I think that there's so much power in stories when you listen in. But I'm going to give you 5 tips right now to get you going. Now, you could either be somebody that's fully engaged right now. You might be a person that you're here right now and you are fully engaged. Well, you know what? Right now is your moment to step up because Black Friday is coming around the corner and you're going to take your business to the next level. Or you could be somebody who has been sitting on the sidelines. Maybe you enrolled a long time ago and you're sitting on the sidelines. You haven't done anything. Well, guess what? Right now is your time to activate. And maybe you're somewhere in the middle. Maybe you've been dealing with, like wanting to do this but still having some doubt. And we know what it's like to be an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur struggle is real. And it really goes one step at a time. So I'm going to give you 5 steps right now in the moment that we're at for you to help get this Saturday morning launched the way it should be. And number 1, I'm going to tell you, your first step is to re-enroll. We are about to step into the biggest season of Moldair. It's the funnest season. It's the most exciting season. So I'm going to tell you, re-enroll yourself into the business. I did that. I decided to re-enroll myself in the business, and it was the most amazing thing that just happened with me. I just did a 5-day drop with 10 of my friends. 10 of my friends, and it has been the most amazing thing. I'm down 6 pounds. My other girlfriend's down 5 pounds. We've got some others who are down. I don't want that's down 8 pounds and, 3 pounds. It's just been an amazing journey. So what I'd say for you is to go into that mindset and just really re-enroll yourself. Number 2, that means get into action. After you mentally get into this mindset of getting into action, of re-enrolling yourself, I want you to get into action, and that means post, and post. Post and then reach out. Post and then talk to people. So get into action. Figure out what your action plan is. Get with your leader, and they have a simple system that you can follow for you to get into action, but the key is going to be after you mentally make that decision to re-enroll to get into action. And then number 3, I want you to really come from that place of helping people. Like, I wouldn't have been able to enroll 10 people into the 5-day drop in this last week if I didn't come from that place of really wanting to, dig my heels in and say, no, I'm going to help some people. I'm going to show them that this does work. I'm going to help them take their products and make sure that they drink their water and they do their Revitalize. And when you come from that place of really wanting to help people, then you really will attract the people who are looking for you. And those people that you're helping, make sure that you're working from a list, right? So that's number 3. Come from a place of wanting to help people, and you put those names on a list because they become real people. And then number 4, this is a call to action that I have for you right now because we're closing out the month of October, and the close of the month is the hugest time, especially because we are going into Black Friday. I don't want you to make the mistake that, you're going to start in November and you think you're going to get, momentum if you just start in November, because that's not what's going to happen. What's actually going to happen right now is that there's a golden moment. We have about 10 days till the start of November, and it's you making a decision to actually go and enroll someone this month. That's my call to action to you, to go and enroll someone this month into your business. I want to know that that's going to happen. I want you to get into your team chats right now. And if this is firing you up, if you're just getting an inkling to say you want to commit, I want you to go into your team chats and say, I am committing to enrolling someone this month. And if you say that out loud, you're going to watch as things in your life start aligning to make that happen for you. And then lastly, of course, you got to plug in. You can't go at this business alone. Too many people make that mistake. You have to plug in to stay lit up. So plug into your team, plug into their resources. And, one thing that I want to announce and let you guys know about, you actually have a physical event you can plug into. We have a training that's happening, M-Life Nation team training events happening, and this is on Friday, January 19th, 2024. So mark your calendars. This is happening in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. and this is going to be an amazing event. I do think that we're going to have more events that are popping up as well. Florida's kind of far for you, but I want you to mark your calendars. I know for Hawaii people, this is like all the way across the nation, but hint, hint, we might have something coming up here in Hawaii. But mark your calendars for Friday, January 19th, 2024, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. All social marketers and guests are welcome. And then on Saturday, it's going to be 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So you will have 2 days where you can get your knowledge. You can let it all soak in. This is going to be at the Courtyard by Marriott, Fort Lauderdale. And we are going to have top elite blacks and elite threes there. So John and Nadia will be there. Tony and Sarah will be there. Michelle Barnes will be there. Marina Simone and Bryn Lang will also be there. So if you are like anywhere in the vicinity, or even if you feel like, hey, you know what, I can just get on a plane and, fly a few hours, go ahead and mark your calendars to be there, because this is going to be an amazing event. Now, that being said, I am now going to present to you these amazing women. I'm going to bring on our first speaker today. This speaker is a beautiful woman. You've probably seen her on social media. If you haven't, you have to go and follow her. Her story is such a great story. I love the perspective of her story. She actually originally came from the corporate world. So she was in the corporate world. She was climbing that corporate ladder like East Coast style, guys. And she'll tell you her story. And, I think it was that phrase that says preparation met opportunity. And she had been working to achieve her corporate goals her whole life. And she realized that it just wasn't working for her. And then that's when the opportunity presented itself to her, and she ran with it. So I want to bring her to the line. She's going to share with you her awesome story. She is an Elite 3, Platinum Black 1. She comes originally from the East Coast, from Baltimore, now living with and raising her family here in Hawaii. I know this because she is my sister-in-law, and I'm so happy to bring her to the line right now. I'd like to present to you Yasmin Pascua. How you doing, Yasmin?
Hi, everyone. Hello. Aloha. Hi, Brandy. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. It is, you guys, it's 6 a.m. here, and I'm already, so fired up and excited just from what Brandy said. I'm ready to go this Saturday. Like Brandy said, I'm coming to you guys from Hawaii, but I'm an East Coaster. I've lived now here in Hawaii for almost 7 years. I'm a mom and I'm a wife, and I got started in this industry about 9.5 years ago. But prior to that, like Brandy mentioned, I had been in the corporate world, and I did all the traditional things that I knew to create success, go to college, get the job. I was moving up the corporate ladder. I even got my MBA. And then literally one day it hit me. And I realized I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have a husband, a son, kids. I didn't have that yet. And the direction that I was going in would actually take me away from the family I wanted, but the life that I wanted to have with my family. And I knew I knew that I wanted to have a career, have significant income, but also be home and have the freedom. And I, at the time, actually had role models that I saw that were doing that. And I saw that they could do it, and I was like, I want that. I want that for me, and I want to set my life up to be that way. And that was the moment that I became open, and I started to have this desire within me to figure this out and to create that life. And that's when I finally became open to this whole world of opportunity and network marketing. I had literally been so closed off to it for so long. So many people would approach me, and I just didn't know anything about it, to be honest. But I was like, no way, I'll never do that. It just went everything against what I knew to be success. But it was at that time that I was finally open to it. And I started my network marketing journey. I did that. So I had my corporate job for about 1.5, 2 years till I built up my network marketing income that I was finally able to leave the corporate job. But during those 1.5, 2 years, I built my business in my lunch break. Like, that's my favorite thing to tell people. It's like, if you just have that lunch break, that hour, that 30 minutes, hour that you get, that's what I did. So I would do it during my lunch break, even on the evenings if I had time, or the weekends. And that was actually a really great first-time experience with my first company. And I got to a point in that company that I knew there had to be another better way. Like, I wanted to create a new life. And I had been with that company for almost 3 years, but I was doing all the traditional things like the home parties. My business was based on how many home parties I was going to host in a week and in a month. Like, I remember my business planning sessions were wrapped around that. How many home parties, how many events. We would have weekly events. I would be on 3-way calls, and it just started to become unsustainable for me. And I started envisioning a new life and a new freedom I wanted. And that's when I was introduced to this model here with social retail with Modere, that really truly allows you to build from your phone and your computer anywhere in the world, right? That means you get to have location freedom. And that was a new life I had really been desiring, because now at this point, I did have my husband, and I finally had that baby that I wanted, and we moved to Hawaii. And we were always traveling, and we were going back and forth, because I'm from the East Coast. And this model really, has just done so much for me. It has literally exceeded my expectations. And it's just been such the greatest opportunity to contribute to this amazing lifestyle that I've had. I've been now here with Modere for 6.5 years, and, I get to go back and forth. I get to take my husband and my son with me, and we get to go spend time with my family on the East Coast. I'm actually headed there next week, right before our cruise that we're all going on. I can't wait for that. And, I get to be with them. I get to be with them all the time, and I get to travel the world, and I, have an income that contributes to our household in a very significant way. And one of my biggest dreams, you guys, that I was finally able to do because of this business is we built our home in Hawaii. And it has literally been a dream come true. Literally, I envisioned this home, and it overlooks the Hawaiian Ocean, you guys. It's in the most beautiful place on the island of Oahu, and it's just been such an awesome journey and ride. And along the way, we've had so many other amazing women join this business. And I always say, we have this dream team of just incredible women being able to do things to change things for their family and for their lives. So I want to just take a couple minutes now and just, share some really important tips I think is going to help anybody that's here on the line, whether you're brand new, maybe you've been here for a while, maybe you're relaunching your business, because like Brandy said, it is literally the best time in Modere. This is my favorite time of the year, and it really has already started. It gears up in October, and we're coming into November, and no one in the industry does Black November like Modere. This is my 7th one, and it gets better and better every single time. So now's the opportunity. This is a huge opportunity for all of us to really, like Brandy said, plug in and dial into what's happening, because this could be your biggest month. Okay, this is the month where you could make your biggest check, a good check that's really, going to set you up for what this holiday season, shopping season is what I like to call it, spending season, where a lot of people go into debt, and that doesn't have to be the case for you. So I want to just give you some really quick, simple tips, and it really comes back to, I always bring it back to when I first got started. And I talked about earlier that lunch break and how I built my business, because listen, we all are busy. We all have so much going on. We all wear a million hats, and we are all in this rat race of life and pulled in a million directions. And so it's really actually simple what to do. And what I tell the newest person to do is no different than what I do, or what Brandy or even the other ladies like Lisa and Margie that you're going to hear from. It's really the basics that matter. And I know for some people they're like, what? Like, that's it? It's really that simple, because it's not about how much time you have. It's about what you do with the time that you have. So all you got to do is decide, I'm going to make the time, right? I'm going to make the time to do these really simple activities that I'm going to show you, because another one of my favorite things to say is when you do these simple activities, and these are the simple activities that move the business forward each day. So whether you have 30 minutes, you have an hour, when you do these simple activities, it's the consistency over time of these activities that compound into massive results. And I always like to express the massive part, okay? Not just results, but literally over time, right? In a year, in 2 years. It's crazy what, if you just do these simple things, what it can do for you and for your business and for your life. So get your pen. If you haven't gotten your pen and papers out yet, definitely do that now. So I'm going to give you guys some 5 key activities. So the first is 5 invites every single day. So just if you can block out your 30 minutes, minimum 30 minutes, 5 invites. And that can be a combination of 3 product invites to take a look at the products and 2 business invites. So 2 people to take a look at social retail. Then the second one would be 5 follow-ups. So following up with people, following up with customers, prospects, anybody that you have in your funnel. When you're doing the inviting part, you're creating a lot of people in your funnel. And then the step 2 of following up is following up with all those people in your funnel. And then number 3 is adding 5 friends a day and having 5 conversations. So we always have to be expanding our network. And I always say that we have such a powerful tool in front of us, which is social media. And we are connected to billions of people around the world, like literally billions, just through our phone. And so you want to treat social media like it's a networking opportunity. Like when you hit that Facebook button on your phone, you're going to your networking hour. So who are 5 people you can add every single day to your network? And then having the conversations, right? Just regular conversations that eventually can lead to the invite. And then the next one is a piece of content. So talking either about product or business, whether it's in your stories, you can do reels, you can post on your wall. I like to do at least a product story every single day, just talking about products. That's where people love to consume content, is in your stories. And then lastly, referrals. So whether it's a referral post or somebody within your customer pod, or even just somebody that you know that refers business to you. Okay, so either combination. I love referral posts. Again, to me, I call the referral post is equivalent to a home party. It's like you get to show up on somebody else's wall and get exposed to their whole entire network. It's actually better than a home party because there's so many more people you can get connected to. And that's it, you guys. That's it. It's that simple. So you just plug it. You just take the time. You set aside the 30 minutes, an hour every single day, and you're going to see what this is going to do for your business, especially during this Black November time. So I'm excited for the season that we're going into right now. It's only great times ahead. It's exciting times ahead with Black November going into 2024. We got SRC. So it was so awesome to be here with you guys on this Saturday. I'm going to hand it back over to Brandy.
What an awesome share. Thank you so much, Yasmin, for sharing. Every time I hear your story, I'm inspired. Guys, this has been an awesome call, and we're going to keep it going. So you just heard from Yasmin, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring on our next speaker. This speaker comes to us with 25 years in the industry. 25 years ago, she was introduced to the industry because she loved some products she was taking. And ever since then, she ran with it. She ran in this industry. She is a best-selling author. She also runs a podcast, and we feel blessed that she chose Modere as her home. I'm going to bring to the line Lisa Cox. Welcome to the line, Lisa.
Oh, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. I can't believe how early it is in Hawaii. You guys are doing a great job. Well, I'm so happy to be here. You know, I feel like I am the luckiest person alive to have found this industry, and I go out there and I tell people about that. When I first started, I literally knew nothing of the industry. I had a friend. I started in party planning, and I sold jewelry for 13 years. But when I started, I had 2 little girls. They're both grown women now. But I just wanted to be home with the girls. It was really important to me and for my husband and I. First of all, I needed the money. I couldn't not work, but I wanted to raise the girls. And at the time, I was in real estate, and I was really struggling with trying to be a great mom and be home as much as possible, but also be professional and make those house sales in order to make the money that we needed. As far as like coming from my part, my husband had a good business, but he was gone all day. It was an auto body shop, and he worked very long hours. So I was paying a nanny basically most of the time that I had to work to do the things with our daughters that I wanted to do. And it got to the point where I was really sad about it, and I would call home and they would say, "Oh, Mommy, I just did my first dive," you know, things like that. Like I dove into the pool, and I'm like, you know, all those things that just tear at your heart. And so I went to a jewelry show, and I saw what she was doing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can totally do this, you know. So I just kind of dove in, not knowing, with zero education of how to do that type of sales. I just went out there like a woman with my hair on fire, and I went straight to the top of that company. And I only did it, it was like blind excitement. And I'm going to talk about, like, I'm going to give you my 5 magical words that I think is why I'm even been asked to be on this call today, because it's kind of my 5 magical words of success, and I'm going to go through those. But so what happened from there forward is I just kept going, and I just kept selling, and I kept helping other people do the same thing. I would lend everybody my product. I never even asked them to buy their own. I was like, no, I can help you if you don't have the money to get started. I just did everything in sort of the eyes of service and crazy excitement. And if you've ever met me, I'm, I can be a little hyper, but it's all from, the goodness of my heart. I just have a lot of energy to share, and when people are around that, it can be very attractive. And so I just kind of built that. And then company number 2 came along about 13 years into my career, where it started. And then company number 2 is where I consider myself that I went professional. That's when I took what we have here seriously. And I kind of asked you to look at your business like that today, because that's when I was like, holy smokes, like I can not only bring in some extra income that we need for the family, but I can make a lot of money, money that we can put in the bank and save and start, going towards our big goals. And at that point in our marriage, we didn't have that kind of money. And so that's when I got really serious. And I started looking at how can I be better every single day? What can I do? Where can I learn? Who can I follow? Who are the right mentors? And that company, I did quite very well. I went to the top of that company, had very, very, very large team and success, and all the while learning, growing, making mistakes, all that stuff. I mean, let me tell you guys, when you start from not knowing anything, it's a roller coaster. And don't get me wrong, there were I'm like, what the flip am I doing? Like, how did I end up teaching these people? Because they're learning from me, and I don't know anything. Like, it's a real deal. But I kept going, I kept showing up, and then I found Modere 7 years ago, or Modere found me, or whatever, however you want to look at it. But it was a God thing, no question in my life, a God wink that I was contacted about this company, and absolutely it aligned with everything I wanted and needed for my career for the rest of my life. I'm now empty nester. My husband and I, this is my full-time job, actually direct sales has been my full-time job for the whole 27 years of my industry, being here in the industry. And so I'm going to go through my magical words. And so that's kind of my story. So I've been here 7 years. I am still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still every day trying to get better. And I'm nowhere near the levels that I want to be yet, because I'm always reaching for the next level. And that's just part of my personality. I'm happy where I am, but I'm always reaching, and I will never stop doing that. And that's sort of been, I think, part of why it's worked so well, because of the minute I hit something or the minute I get somewhere, I'm like, okay, what's next? How can we get better? How can we show someone else the way of Modere and help change their life? So that's sort of my mindset and where I came from. I am, 5 magical words. Okay, we're going to go through these. Purpose, joy, hustle, education, and growth. And already our speakers have touched on some of these because I think there's a lot of repetition in this business. And when I say that, I say it very positively, mean, we don't have to be rocket scientists to have great success here. All we have to do is do the work, show up, right? So number 1, purpose. So I feel like it's very important to know how to work purposely in your business every single day. Block the noise, okay? There's always going to be noise, and we already talked about that today. There's always something going on in your life, in the world, out there, people's health, your family. It's endless. And if it wasn't, then it wouldn't be life, right? But you have to know how to keep your purpose and your focus moving towards your vision. A narrow focus, okay? I really believe that when you're working in purpose, you know exactly what you're trying to hit. And I mean, if someone walked up to you right now in your living room and said, what are you working towards? You should have an answer that rolls off your tongue super easy. So make sure you know your focus. What are your projects right now? Is it to get more customers? Is it to get more social marketers on your team? Whatever it is, write it down. Make sure it's very narrow and that you know exactly what you're marching towards. Let's see. I'm trying to read my notes. I write so sloppy. Be consistent with your message. So when you're working with purpose, your message is consistent. People know who you are. Like for me, my message has changed over the years, and yours can change and it can fluctuate. I'm really working hard right now at trying to attract the women that are sort of in my age, because I feel like they really relate to me. So I'm very consistent with my message of how to age gracefully, how to stay fit in your 50s, and things like that. So make sure you know who you are, know what your message is, and keep it very narrow for your purpose and your focus. I feel like the times where I kind of started to not do as well in my business, and I'm going to tell you, it's a roller coaster. There's some years I'm like, I'm kicking booty, and there are some years where I'm like, wait a minute, what am I not doing right, okay? But all those years have led me to where I am today. So all of those are okay. But it's the times when I'm not narrowly focused on my purpose that I'm like, maybe I'm trying to do too much, and I have to like narrow it down and go back and sort of like trace my steps to exactly where I'm trying to go. So the next one, joy. Joy in everything. You have to decide to show up in joy every single day. Again, life isn't easy. Everyone's got something they're battling. But you have to make a decision to show up with that. People are attracted to joy. I will say when I walk in a room, I walk in a room with purpose of leaving that room more joyful than how I found it. And some days, it's not as easy as other days, but I always can smile. I always can talk to people with a joyful heart. I can always ask people questions about themselves. These are some of the things, the action steps you can do to spread joy. Find out about other people, okay? Let's see. If you show your joy in your life's work, people want to know what your life's work is, right? Because they're attracted to that. So I just feel like if you bring your A game and you feel your best, and a lot of bringing joy to a room means making sure you are bringing joy to yourself. Making sure and bringing your A game and, making sure that you can do that, a lot has to do with, number one, self-care. So a joyful heart is a heart that feels good. If you're not doing the things at home to take care of your own self and your own body and get enough sleep and water and rest and exercise, then you're probably not going to show up very joyful because you're not going to feel yourself. You're not going to feel good. If you're putting bad foods and crappy stuff in your body, you're going to be like, ugh, like that. You're going to walk in and be like, ugh, okay? So we don't want to be like that. So to bring joy, you must take care of yourself and then just walk in and light that area up and show people who you are. And then, they're going to love and they're going to want to hear what your vision is and what your purpose is because they're going to be attracted to you. We always say here in the Midwest, flies, like, we want to spread joy like flies to sugar, okay? Number 3, hustle. We have to have a hustler's heart, gang. We have to. There's no time like the present to hustle your booty off. Now, we know the things to do, okay? Our daily activities, the things that we need to do each and every single day. We already talked about a couple of them today. To be successful, but you have to be dedicated to your hustle. And you have to do it every day. Never stay in procrastination zone, okay? That is not the place to live, not the place to grow. Procrastination zone is where you just put everything off, and you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. No. Today's the day. Have a hustler heart. Write that down and be that person. The no excuse zone. So part of hustling is not using excuses to get out of the hustle, right? And sometimes we get really lazy about our excuses, and they come out, and we're just that person where we're like, oh, I didn't get things done today because of this or because of that. No. No time for that. We have to be in hustle zone and do the work and get it done. And, if you're the person that kind of gets it and like naturally might be kind of a procrastinator, it's okay. It's actually a part of a lot of people's personalities. It doesn't make you a bad person. But what I recommend is do it first thing in the morning. Like, get her done early, because if you wait till later, then you'll be like, it's the end of the day. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. So let's do that. So let's hustle, guys. Let's really put the hustle out there. And just like Brandy was saying, Black Friday's coming. It is time to hustle double time right now. The next one, our 4th one, education. You're here. Congratulations. Yeah, we have to stay plugged in all the time to education. I had 0 education when I first started. Now, my hustle and my passion took me a long way, but then there's a point you have to go learn. You have to follow the right mentors, follow the right people. There isn't a moment that I don't hear John and Nadia Melton and I learn something new. I plug in. I'm a sideline. I'm not even on their team. I don't care. I freaking love them. They're like my favorite trainers, some of my favorite trainers ever in my life of the entire, and I tell them about it every time I see them. And so I plug in. I turn on his stuff whenever I get the chance. I sit there with my notepad. You guys, we need to be educated, and you have the best educators right here. And so it's just like a dream company because we have so many people to learn from, but there's also people out there and so much free information. You can hire a mentor. I think that's a great idea as well. I've done that many, many times. But you can also get free stuff out there all the time. All these big coaches have podcasts, and they're so good, and they're free. So make sure you guys are always educating and growing yourself, always growing yourself. If you're not on a call, in a call, doing the training, or working your daily activities, plug something into your ear, turn off the TV and do that, because it really makes a difference. And once I started getting educated, that's when I felt like I was a true professional in this industry. And that made me feel better, made me feel stronger. I think it always makes you work better the more that you learn. Number 5, growth. Always be growing. That's part of the education. You learn some stuff, you go out, you implement the stuff you learn, and then you grow. And then you get better. We always have to be kind of morphing with the times. I don't think this industry will ever sit still. Margie can tell us about that. But, we always have to be growing. And I implore you to have an open heart to change. Don't be afraid of it. Do not be afraid of it. I have seen so much. Oh, my gosh, I lived through this industry in 2008 where the bomb dropped out of the entire economy. Hey, we did fine. We did fine. So just be okay with the change and be out there with an open heart to the change, and just keep yourself growing in the right direction. Don't be afraid of things like AI. Don't be afraid of it. It is going to be a part of your future. So just sort of grab a hold of it, learn a little bit about it, and grow with it, and don't be afraid of it. So those are my 5 magical words that I feel like have carried me through the years in the industry. And I just want to thank you for your time today, and I hope you guys got some good little nugget, and I'll pass it back to you.
We are so thankful for you, Lisa. You were on fire today. How awesome this was. The chats are going off. Our teams are loving what you've shared. So thank you so much for coming, even being a sideline with the team, and yet coming here to share with us and inspire us and to share with what's worked to help you achieve all of your success. So thank you so much. Okay, next, we're going to be bringing our final, and we did save the best for last, I must say this. We're going to bring our final speaker to the line. For those of you who have been with Moldair for a minute, you know who this woman is. She is a beautiful woman. She has the most amazing energy. She's beautiful on the inside and out, and she's just been with us. I'm going to tell you, she's been with our company from day one. Oh, our chats are going off, and they already know who it is. Guys, she has actually been with our company for 34 years, and she has only been with our company. This is like ground zero for her, and she has not left. So, guys, you're going to want to hear from her. She first got introduced to direct sales when she was a music teacher, and then she got involved in this industry, and since then she has run. She's in the 1% of industry leaders. Get that, guys, worldwide. 1% of industry leaders worldwide. And she's been with our company from day one. So I'm going to bring her to the line, and I'm going to let her share with you. I had the privilege of seeing her speak live many times at our conferences. So I'm going to let her. And I was just with her. I was just with her in Vegas.
We were just together. Yes.
Right. We were just. I was
we
like,
were together.
Was that live, or was I watching you virtually? Margie, you're just so beautiful. I'm so happy. We're so happy to have you here. The chats are going off. Everyone's excited to hear from you. So, guys, I'd like to bring to the line Margie Aliprandi. Margie, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Brandy, thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. Yasmin, beautiful job. Lisa, I just admire you. I admire just the hell out of you guys. I am so grateful to be able to be in the company of really such remarkable, purpose-driven, hard-working, back-to-back, amazing men and women in this company. It is truly the greatest joy to have a culture that you know you can rely on each other. I mean, it's just it doesn't exist elsewhere, and I'm so grateful, and thank you for inviting me to be on this call today. I'll go give you just a little backstory for those who may be tuning in for the first time. I want to say a special welcome to you. Can I just tell you, oh my heavens, if you're tuning in for the first time, you are so fortunate to be hearing about this company at a time such as this, and you can have in your hands a vehicle to change the world like no other. Now, going back to kind of my humble beginnings, as Brandy mentioned, I was a junior high school music teacher in 1989, and I started teaching school just a couple of weeks after I gave birth to my first son. And then 3 months into the school year, I learned that I was pregnant again. So I was going to my grandma's house that was tending him, or my mom, and nursing this young baby while I was pregnant with another. And when I got to be home with him at Christmas time and then dropped him at my mom's house to start teaching school again, I just thought, I can't do this. I just really want to be able to be home with my kids. So I started staying home with them and doing a little bit of acting and a little bit of television commercials and things that paid the bills a little bit, and then found myself single by choice, but also wondering what the heck I was going to do financially now. I did not want to go back to teaching school, but it was the only thing I really knew, so I had signed a teaching contract, and it was, my friends, in that moment that destiny displayed a different plan for me, because I heard about this little fledgling network marketing company. I live in Utah, so this is, quite common, and I heard more than anything about a product that I knew I was so passionate. It's like I never really thought that sales was necessarily for me. I never really thought that building teams was something for me. But when I heard about this product, I'm like, you know what? Every home in America is going to have this product, and me and my teams are going to sell it. We're going to become millionaires. And I was just like, I captured a vision. And once that happens, you can never go back from that vision that you captured. So I canceled my teaching contract and I jumped in with both feet. I know this is a little more detailed than I sometimes share, but I was so touched by both Yasmin and Lisa sharing how much they wanted to not have to compromise their home life and their children and to miss out on those special years, just felt inspired to share a little bit more. So what I want to say about this profession now is that my kids are all grown up. They were 5, 4, and 2 at the time that I started this. I had no previous business experience, 3 little kids. I was a music teacher, and I said yes to this and jumped in with both feet. Now those children are 41, 40, 37, 38, and 31, and I have 12 grandchildren, of which the oldest is 6. So I definitely have been blessed beyond words by this profession, and I've learned a lot. I think back on the times when I had doubt or fear or concern, or I was wondering if being away from my kids so much in the beginning, I just felt so much conflict of, I want to give them a better life and I want to be with them, and now I'm gone doing home parties every night, right? Not dissimilar to what Yasmin and Lisa shared with you. And so just that willingness to do whatever it took, and now to have the hindsight. I remember the I want to quit moments. Products come and go, the comp plan changes, the name of the company changes, the business model changes, new management teams come and go. And I look back on those early years, and my friends, without diving into this with any degree of detail, I literally rebuilt my business from scratch about 3 times in those early years. And so I look back on all of this now, and I see where I am. I'm not even remotely the same young girl that started this business 34 years ago. And I frankly really like who I have become. And it's because of this business. I just got back from India, and I can tell you, my friends, I have never lived my life more on purpose than I am right now. I believe that entrepreneurship changes the world. I've become a part of a philanthropic venture that I started with a few women that Lauren Robin, Michelle Barnes. We started this a few years back, and I've watched how these women start micro businesses across the globe, and I see how entrepreneurship changes people's lives. Now to watch in India, women claiming their own name, stepping into their power, and to see what entrepreneurship does in their lives and how it ripple effects into their families and changes a little economic power, can make such a difference in the world, especially when people are doing it on their own terms. So I just back from India have never felt more on purpose than I do right now. And I look back on the challenging times, and my friends, I had plenty of reasons to quit. And let me just say, I actually had plenty of reasons not even to get started, right? 3 little kids, no money to build a business with, no business experience, and yet now in retrospect, I see the divine purpose of everything. And in fact, some of the hardest things I went through actually turned out to be the biggest blessing. Steve Jobs says you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. And so because of my 34 years with this company, all the ups and downs, and seeing so many different phases of business and building in different ways, and having to be able to adapt and tuck and roll and do whatever was necessary because I made that whatever it takes decision. Now I can, when you've been through something before, it gives you an ease and a confidence. Lisa spoke about this. It gives you an ease and a confidence that it's all going to be okay, right? And so I feel so incredibly grateful to be with this lineup of leaders. And because I really have been here from the start, especially for those that might be listening for the very first time, I want to give you a timeline. I want to take you back to how social retail was born. And it is alive and well. When I watch the families' lives that are impacted by grabbing onto social retail in India, across in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, across the globe, right here in our own backyard, it brings me to my knees with gratitude. So going back now, 2013, we were probably doing only, the United States was one of our smallest markets. Those of us who were really making significant income at the time, we were focusing on international markets, Eurasia, Japan, and so forth for me. And in 2013, we started, I was at a point that I could literally retire. I had 20-plus years in the business. I was making, very comfortable, passive, recurring income. And in 2013, we started having conversations about, could we create a business model that could be life-changing, that could shake up the game, that could be more opportunity for more people? And as we engaged in these conversations around the boardroom tables, I remember thinking, I don't know if we can pull this off. But guess what? If we can, this is going to be a game changer. And I am not. This will be the finest days of my entire career, and I am not going to miss this. So in 2014, we launched social retail. And in 2015, we took social retail to all of the international markets. You guys, we didn't get traction right away, FYI. It was a new idea. We were still tweaking it, but our vision was so strong that we would create a model where more people could win. And then in late 2015, early 2016, we started to attract some of the leaders that you see at the top today. I never take joy from a company that struggles and ultimately goes out of business, because I know how many dreams are dashed when that happens. However, when one door closes, another door opens, and when Michelle Barnes and John Melton and the teams from Vima found their home here because they could see that we were doing something different, something that had never been done before. When they joined us, and also about that time, we acquired a company called Savvy, and they brought a weight loss program, and I'll tell you what, things started to take off. And then only more so by 2017, we acquired Jusuru. We got the collagen. We got Ozma Isak. I can tell you, my friends, I've said this over and over, that you can clear out my bank accounts, sell every home or property, take every dime, leave me with my family, leave me with the collagen, and I will be a millionaire again. So things really began to pick up when we acquired this amazing collagen and Ozma. And then what happened, y'all, in 2020? We all know that the world went upside down in 2020, March of 2020. Once again, I don't take any pleasure in watching any company struggle, but I can tell you every company in our space was devastated by the happenings in 2020 and 2021. Do you know what? This is when we began to thrive. We introduced at that point the customer programs that we use today as almost just a trial to see if we could create some impetus and keep the business growing. My friends, from March of 2020, we went from doing $10 million a month to November, $50 million a month. And you guys, when we started this concept in 2014, we were only doing like 200 or 300,000 in the U.S. market. And so what I want to tell you is, friends, we have cracked the code. And when you look at the trajectory of all of this, you can see that it was no one decision or no one person or no one thing that happened. It was a series of serendipitous, I believe, divinely orchestrated things that have brought us to this moment. And I can tell you that our leadership lineup reads like the who's who in network marketing. And we are back to back. We are a force as a leadership team. And I am so grateful that we have a CEO that has such incredible vision. You know, Ozma has said, I am building you a business not for 50 years, but for 500 years. My friends, I wanted to talk with you today about legacy because of a decision that this young girl made all those years ago when I didn't have a clue what I was doing. 34 years ago, I made a decision. And every day I remade that decision. And through the ups and the downs, I stayed with my flag firmly planted. And now in retrospect, you cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So let me continue with this statement. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in the future. You have to trust something, your gut. This is all Steve Jobs, right? Your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. My friends, this is the hindsight that I have because I've been here and I've been through every up and down that this company has experienced. And I love the triumphs. And some of my greatest growth and the greatest blessings have come through the hardest times. So I just want to really quickly, you've already gotten so much great information, so I wanted to quickly summarize. To create a legacy business, what do you need to do? That has already been addressed beautifully. I'll just tell you my quick notes without going into detail on any of them. You need a daily operation. You need to plant your flag. You need to know what you are doing day in, day out. You need to access tools and systems. Use our ATM system. Take the need for incredible skill out of the equation by plugging in and utilizing tools and systems. Be in action. Be willing to begin imperfectly. Anything worth doing well is worth doing poorly until you learn how to do it well. It is while we are in action that everything happens. Action is where the rubber meets the road. We can be clear about our purpose. We can share our purpose and just meditate all day long, but that's not going to get you where you need to go. My friends, if we can survive and thrive through 2020 and 2021, we can do anything together if we are consistent. Now, finally, who do you need to be? Who do you need to be to create a legacy business? Because I submit, my friends, that in any given moment, who you are being is more important than anything you're saying or doing, because people feel who you are. And the greatest thing that happens in this business is not the money that we amass or the things that we get. It's who we become and who we help other people become. That, my friends, lasts beyond the grave, I believe. So I've written down the importance of being visionary. People are attracted to that. Realize, stay close to the fire until you are the fire, because, my friends, if you have the posture and realize that you are the modern Santa Claus, you're the one with the gift, stay positive, stay solution-oriented. Personal development, I wrote it down. That's already been beautifully covered. My friends, you're going to need some grit. You're going to need heart. And one of my favorite words in the English language is resilience. You're going to need resilience. And to me, that doesn't just mean bouncing back when you have a disappointment or somebody says no. It's more than just bouncing back from difficulty or challenges. It's also being able to see the gift, to see the silver lining in every challenge. And when you can do that, when you recognize that you're the modern Santa Claus, when you recognize that you're the one with the gift, and just like Lisa said, you go out with a heart of service, you cannot be stopped. So what we hold in our hands, my friends, nobody has it. There's a reason that the entire industry is looking over their shoulder trying to figure out what we're doing over here to help so many people win. And, bottom line, the economy is tough right now. Guess what? We get to create our own economy. We have in our hands the first ever people's opportunity. We have a company that is collaborative, that is by our side. We have a corporate team and a field team that cares and embodies our core values. We have a lineup of leaders that are like the who's who in network marketing. We have products that change people's lives. Every everyone right now is looking for answers, for solutions, for help solutions, for a side gig. We have it. We've got a comp plan where you can play to your skill set and get paid every step of the way. My friends, what we hold in our hands will continue to change the world. Social retail is the way. We have it. We have life-changing products, and we have got a leadership team that is second to none. I'm so honored to be a part of this. My friends, we are building a business not for 50 years, as Ozma says, but for 500 years. And you can plant your flag and create a legacy that one day will bring you to your knees with gratitude. With this, I'll turn it back to you, Brandy. Thank you so much for having me.
I cannot even think of a better way to end our call. The chats are going off, Margie. We can just hear the love, the care, the experience, the years of experience and hard work that you've put in. And no doubt you have a huge why. And thank you so much for teaching us how to leverage our goals, our skill sets, our desires so that we can collectively come together and change the world. I love this. Oh, my gosh. What an amazing call. Margie, you're amazing. Woo-hoo! Lisa, you're amazing. Yasmin, you're amazing. Shout out to Michelle Barnes and John Melton for having this call every Saturday for us. Thank you all so much for joining. Get back into your chats. I can't wait to celebrate your success for Black Friday, guys. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.